For more on this, let's turn now to Alex de Vries. He's a financial economist, and he joins me now from the Netherlands. Alex, good to have you on the show. This is a fascinating topic. All right, so I get that Bitcoin is energy intensive, and it's leading to sort of major carbon emissions. If you want numbers, I think a popular number that's sort of put out there is 37 million tons of carbon emissions every year. But isn't it also true that it still is less harmful to our environment in terms of carbon emissions when compared to traditional banking, or let's say the mining of gold?
Well, certainly have a point there. There's other things that are bigger than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is certainly the one growing the fastest. And, that's just because, like you already introduced, behind the scenes, you have millions of devices producing quintillions of calculations every second of the day, while in the front end, this network doesn't have a whole lot of processing capacity. It can maybe handle 5 transactions per second. So when this network gets adopted, it really goes up really fast. So if you, for example, look at gold, we can establish that even though Bitcoin is smaller than gold, it will pretty soon have a carbon footprint that will exceed the carbon footprint of mining gold annually. And if you compare it to the regular payment system, it's even worse than that. We can compare Bitcoin to a payment processor like Visa, and then we can establish that for a Visa transaction, it takes maybe 0.4 grams of carbon to do a transaction. If you look at Bitcoin, it's actually currently already 400 kilograms of carbon, and it's increasing. So you could say that a single Bitcoin transaction is going to be very close to a million Visa transactions in terms of carbon footprint. So it's just way disproportionate.
Okay, even though I'm a very big fan of Bitcoin, I'm going to continue sort of playing the devil's advocate here. One quick solution could be to say, all right, let's just develop more efficient technologies, more efficient hardware in terms of mining. But as far as I understand, that's going to lead to the competition of more efficient hardwares. Therefore, in essence, it's going to make it anti-efficient.
Yeah, sadly, getting more efficient machines doesn't really improve anything. In fact, it just means that people will get 2 machines instead of 1 machine. So, as long as it's profitable, people will continue adding more hash rate or more computational power, more machines to the network. And there are real fixes to that, but it's not more efficient machines. It's actually taking out the mining from Bitcoin completely, replacing the software with a greener alternative, and that way you can actually make Bitcoin green if you want to.
Okay, on a per capita basis, yes, we've given a lot of examples that China is a big problem here, but shouldn't we be looking at countries where electricity is pretty much dirt cheap, like perhaps Venezuela?
Well, there's plenty of countries with cheaper electricity than China can offer. Actually, one of them over the past year has been Iran, where miners can get oil-based energy for less than 1 cent per kilowatt hour. China's coal-based energy is 3 to 4 times more expensive. And, well, that's obviously not a good development because it's still dirty. But yeah, those opportunities are still around. Miners can get cheap energy outside of China. And actually, the researchers in this study concluded that mining in China will eventually become unprofitable and miners will relocate elsewhere. They just didn't say where.
Alex, I do have to say this is a fascinating subject. Thanks for joining us here on the NewsHour. Alex de Vries live for us from the Netherlands.